Okay.
Yeah. So I'm with the customer right now. We're at an old, late 1800s, right?
Yeah.
Site. Okay. But most importantly, I want to show him how to set this up. So no. You're gonna have your. I'm gonna better to have hands-on experience. Okay. All right. So let's get a good shot of this. So first thing we're gonna do is, you see that iron button on the left? We're gonna hit that because we want to be able to hear our iron. Okay. Second thing, we want to go to settings. Okay, good. You're already adept with that. And go up arrow here. Okay, so we're in all-terrain low conductor, so he's going to change that to all-terrain general. Perfect. And then you're going to go up arrow. We're going to do a quick noise cancel, pressing the button on the right. Hold the coil up in the air. And this button right here. There you go. Yep. Boom. Perfect. Okay, and then press the up arrow again. And you're going to press this button just once. So a lot of people might complain about that, but the head engineer of Minelab said you do not want to ground balance this machine. You want to run in auto tracking. So let's go ahead, and that is my experience as well. I do best in auto tracking, which is great for anybody beginning in the industry, because that way you don't even have to worry about ground balancing half the time. Press the up arrow again. Okay, recovery speed. This is way too high. This machine is already ridiculously fast. In terms of anybody who's used the CTX 3030, they'll know that this machine is incredibly fast. You don't need a high recovery speed. You go down to 2. So you're gonna take that down to a 2.
2.
Yep. And then we're gonna go up arrow. If we're in a super trash area, which we might be later, I might have them take it up to a 3, but that's the max I would go. No discrimination patterns, right? Use your mind, use your head as the discriminator. So let's go ahead and press the up arrow again. Okay, we don't need to worry about Ferris limits. Again, we're not running any discrimination. Press up arrow. So Ferris volume, if we really wanted to hear the iron tones, we might turn that up. If we didn't want to hear our iron as much, we might turn that down, like it was blowing your ears out, getting in the way. So we'll hear that later. Press the up arrow again. 2 region all tones is great, but if you press the right arrow, 5 region all tones gives you even more information and will help us determine whether something is a silver dime or a nail later. And you know, you've told me that you've already heard a lot of tones that seemed like they were good but didn't amount to anything, which tells me there might be a lot of falses in the ground here. So let's press up arrow again. Okay, audio theme is normal, which is what we want, but let's press that little pencil arrow on the right, exactly. And the profile is medium. Now, this just pressing down, if you press the left arrow, that's going to take us to, go ahead and do that, a simple profile, which is like the old Equinox. All that means is the Equinox didn't have good audio modulation. It was either really loud or really soft. There was no in between. If you go to the right, medium now has some good audio modulation, but if you go to the right one more time, rich, I found to be way too rich in audio modulation, which means deep signals will be so faint that even I can't detect them as well with my ears, so especially in noisy areas. So really, the middle, the medium is the best. So now press the back arrow, in my experience. Press the up arrow. We're in multi right now. We're going to cross-check targets in 15 kilohertz to see if they're trash or not, and to help us better understand what they are. So that's it. Let's go ahead and press the back arrow. I feel like I'm missing something in iron. I feel like Minelab added some really dumb iron discrimination. Let me just see. Where would it be? No. Did you update this?
No.
Okay. This might not have the new update. Okay, that's fine. Now what we want to do is turn that sensitivity, I'm sorry, its sensitivity's here, the right arrow, up until, okay, so now turn it down once. So I think 25 is the sweet spot. There we go. One more, 24. Okay, good. That's it, we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna turn this off. We're gonna look around and I'll catch you up if we find a good signal. Okay, I'm just showing how I swing here. So, you hear that, how that immediately turns into an iron tone?
Yes.
So that's crap. We know that's crap. Right? Nothing. Little wiggle over it, we know it's crap because it's eroding into iron tones.
Okay.
Okay. So that seemed like something good, right? Because there was a little bit of repeatability to that.
Yes.
But not really. If we look at the screen, it's all over the place. It's up in the iron section. And if I turn 90 on it, there's still no consistency. It actually turns into a repeatable iron tone, which tells me that's also crap. Okay, great example again.
Oh, I see.
Hear how it's like a really, there's like a squawky signal?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really loud, but it's showing 3 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good indicator that it's iron. Iron gives these like kind of really nasty squawks one direction, and then usually an iron signal the other direction. And it's all over the place. But again, we always want to turn on something like that just to make sure that it's not a good signal next to a piece of iron.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear now that it's completely eroded into iron, and it's all up at the top. Do you see that?
What is this little thing I've been?
So, how familiar are you with the concept behind the 2D graph?
I mean, I'm not very familiar.
Okay, so let's go over this together. This line is the indicator for anything not iron, non-ferrous, right? This line that runs through. That's all you need to know. Above or below that line is a good indicator that it's iron. Now, when an object starts to build, and it will build because this is the processor in this is a learning machine. The more it lights up the electrons of that target, the more information that, let me give you a better analogy. Imagine seeing like a really fuzzy image, and then the image starts to get clearer and clearer the more you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were in a really, like when you go from a really bright room to a really dark room, and then suddenly you can see after a while being in that dark room. It's the same way this processor, the more I go over that target, the more the processor understands what that target is.
Oh.
That's why the more you go over a nail, the more as the machine starts to learn that it's a nail, the more it will actually sound like a nail. So you'll go, oh, this sounds like a great signal, and then you'll turn on it and sweep over it, and suddenly you'll be like, God, this sounds like crap now. What happened? It's because the machine knows that it's a piece of crap.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It's learning more because the the magnetic beam is exciting the electrons more and making the image less blurry for the detector's processor. That's just an analogy. Okay, so iron will appear here and here, but it can trick you sometimes and show a blob here. The more circular a blob is on that line, the better. If you see a blob that's on this line and you're getting a repeating target, but it's like an ink blot that's smeared or starting to drip, that's a clear sign that it's not necessarily a ferrous or iron target, but it could mean that it's an abnormally shaped target.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
If you see what blotches like I showed you before, where it's like someone just splattered ink all over the thing, and it's above and below this line, that's a good indication that you're just dealing with crap.
Okay.
But here, if we go over this, you can see that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And it's building, the blotch is building in the upper section, which means it's clearly iron.
That is definitely iron.
Okay. So do you want to give it a try for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting target. Listen. Hear that?
Yes.
It's like a doit, doit, doit. That's nails make that sound. But look how tight I can get on that target. It's a really interesting target. Let's look at the graph. Hear how it sounds like something's trying to come through the iron?
Yes.
Okay, now I pin it. I pivot again, 90. And it's totally crap. If I move a little bit, it sounds good again. That could be, go ahead and hold the detector. Because what's happening is, when a nail erodes in the ground, it creates an electron halo. And what the detector, it's not actually detecting the nail, it's actually catching the rim of that halo. So when you're detecting, you'll turn like we just did, and then you'll be like, where the hell did the target go? And you'll, oh, I must have missed it, and it seems to drift. That's because you're just detecting the edge of this circle when the nail is really over here somewhere. Which is why when you dig a nail, it's always in the side of the hole, because you never actually were digging the real signal. Okay? Okay, so we got a non-ferrous target he just found. This is great. Now look at that beautiful 40s. Look how it's abnormally shaped. Now stop there. Let's go to single frequency. So go to settings. Now you can create a shortcut here later, right? But you can do that later. Go up to frequency. I'm sorry, it's up at the top. There? All the way up to the top. Keep going. See that little heartbeat thing that looks like a heartbeat signal? Yep, one more. Okay, and go to 15 kilohertz by pressing the right arrow. Good. And then exit out and go over the same signal. So interesting, we're seeing some 40s and 50s come out, so I can still see the signals there. It's scratchier. Single frequency doesn't have as much intelligence. But the good thing is we're getting a signal around the same target ID number. So go back to multi. Beautiful. Exit out. And see if you can find it. Hear how much cleaner that is? It went down to 30s. and make it tight. What's that giving you?
It's giving it
35.
35.
Is it building in a more solid place, it looks like? Do the wiggle again for me. A little slower. Yes, you'll see now we're building up in one spot. Okay, good. So let's get this off. So this is how I pinpoint targets, because this technique works better in my experience than the pinpoint button, especially on nail falses. It gets you closer to the nail. Every now and then everyone's going to dig a nail. You'd rather be on top of that nail than be digging 50 holes to try to find whatever it was. Okay, so I wiggle up and down, watch my coil. See how I'm getting on either side of the sound?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who start out, they go, and they pull away from the sound for some reason. You have to wait for the sound to complete itself. There's where it disappears, so I know it's at the tip of my coil. Pin it, pivot, and make a crosshair in your mind. See how tight that is?
Mm-hmm.
Pin it, pivot, X marks the spot right there. All right, so we know that we're gonna dig right there. Do you want to use my shovel? Or your shovel? You got whatever. Yeah, doesn't matter. Go for it. All right. Beautiful, right there. Yep. Boy, there is a lot of iron in this ground now. You got your work cut out for you. There you go. Up. We can always, yep. Let me, okay, it's in this, yeah, we knew it was pretty close to the surface. Aha. Pull tab?
Mm-hmm. Pull tab.
That could have been a gold ring, man. That could have been a gold ring. Yeah, let me see that pull tab. Eye on the prize. All right, cool. Okay, so we've got a... That's a pretty crappy signal, but there's a lot of iron there. Now watch, I'm gonna go to 15 kilohertz.
Okay, so it's not stable at all.
It's total crap.
Okay.
But we are gonna dig this so I can show you. Now, if that signal had gone up to a higher number, and it is jumping from a high to a low now, but if it had gone up to a stable, really high number, because it was at like it went 2.9, 2.8, 2.10 in multi, but if it had gone up to like a 60 or even a 40 and been fairly stable, like 45, 46, 47, 43, that would have been a piece of crap as well. If you had been in multi and it had been a 40 or a 60 and it had gone down in single to a 2 or a 10, that would have been a piece of crap as well. So in other words, if the discrepancy is large enough, like 30 points or more, I guarantee anybody watching or you, that is a piece of crap.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, when I dig this, it's going to be most likely a piece of aluminum.
Or nail. Aluminum nail. I've found plenty of those around here.
Or it could be some kind of small bolt or something. Can you hold that for 1 sec? I think this is going to be right on the surface. No. Damn it. I gotta pinpoint it again real quick. Good. Okay.
Do you have like a sluice?
Oh boy, I'm gonna butcher this. There we go. A what?
A sluice.
For well, that's a different prospecting and detecting for jewelry. Two totally different questions there. Ah ha ha ha. Oh boy, look at there. You see?
Copper or
it's aluminum.
Oh,
it's just
aluminum.
a crumpled up gum wrapper.
Okay.
So, yes sir. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Okay.
That gets me excited. Because I've done this test so many thousands of times on the old Equinox, on the Manticore, on all these other machines. Anytime you go between multi and single frequency, if there is a large enough discrepancy, it is a piece of trash.
Okay.
I've proven it to myself over and over and over again.
So, okay, it's about the